if I can say anything today is, it doesn't have to be this way. Today just, I was driving and I became pretty angry, you know? I think anybody that, you know, goes through like depression, things like that and everything, when you have those negative thoughts, those negative emotions, that just like, you know, overwhelming sadness and everything, you know, I feel like it's something that's maddening, right? And I feel like for me personally, and maybe for obviously, I think for a lot of other people, right? It's been stressful. It's been stressful these last few months. It's been very stressful, and maybe I kind of impose that stress on myself without even realizing. Maybe a lot of the stuff that I'm worried about, you know, it's maybe not worth worrying about. Maybe it's not worth fearing, whatever it may be. But the thing is that I started to become angry because it's, why is it that, you know, why is it that for some of us, right, obviously me included, you know, why is it that we feel this way? Why is it that sometimes we can't just, you know, feel like fine? You know, why is it that we have this voice inside, you know, that just kind of always wants to steer us in the wrong direction? You know, like people can show you love, people can show you affection and attention and all these other things, and automatically, you know, there's that little voice that just kind of, you know, rings in your head that says like, oh, you know, they don't mean it, or oh, it's only because of interest, or it starts to give negative intent to things that aren't even, you know, that are pretty straightforward and, you know, aren't complicated at all, and it's like you don't really need to do much to see what people are doing or anything, and yet you'll see that or whatever, and then your mind just automatically tells you like, oh well, it's because, you know, they're against you, or they're not thinking about you, or this or that and this and that and everything. And it's maddening, you know. To me, it's just like today I want to say like I just grew tired. Like I'm just tired of having that voice, those thoughts and everything. And again, it's been happening to me a lot, and I'm sure it happens to a lot of other people. Obviously, I mean, I feel like it's so widespread nowadays. But yeah, like, you know, it's pissing me off because it's like, yeah, like why is it that we have to feel that way? You know, why is it that we have those thoughts, those, you know, that voice and everything that just wants to basically, you know, kind of sabotage everything that you have, sabotage everything that you work for, and kind of like just stunt your growth, you know, and even ruin your friendships, relationships, hell, even the relationship with yourself, you know what I'm saying? It's like all these things that I just, like I said, I feel like it does not have to be this way, and it's, right now, it's just, you know, it's maddening, man. It's creating a lot of hatred within me. And I don't mean it hatred in the sense of like, oh, like I'm, like I would like want to do something against anyone or anything like that. No, obviously not. But I mean hatred just against that, like that one thing that's in your head that always keeps trying to screw you over, you know? It's, I just don't understand why it's like that. And somebody told me one day that a lot of things we worry about, especially like here, you know, like I'm in the US and everything, it's, you know, they say, hey, you're worrying about first world problems. And I know it might sound, in a way, depending on how you perceive it, right, it could sound shitty or make you sound, let's say, like entitled, or again, like you're comparing other people's, you know, miseries to your own, and it's, you know, other people that maybe in other countries are suffering because of this and that, therefore you shouldn't feel this way and everything. And it's like, well, I mean, it can go that way, but it doesn't have to, you know. But in the end, I feel like what they meant with that is that obviously, you know, sometimes a lot of things that we worry about, like they're really not big issues, you know, they're really not big problems. You know, it's not, you know, life threatening, and it's not, you know, anything like that. I guess sorry for like the lack of better words, but yeah, it's I just don't understand, you know, how it is that, you know, that our own minds, you know, that we're not able sometimes to really like just regulate as much, so that we don't allow our mind to work against us, right? And it's difficult, and I know that there's a lot of resources out there to kind of like help you with it and everything, but I don't know, man. Like, what can I say? It's just like right now, I feel like the main thing that's affecting like me personally, and it might be the same thing with a lot of other people, especially nowadays, right? It's like, you know, you go to school, you graduate, whatever, you use your degree, and then it feels like it didn't really make that much of a difference, to be honest, you know. Maybe the pay isn't really good, or the job you got isn't necessarily all that good, or it seemed good in the beginning and now it's looking a little rough, uh, and then like for me, like I still don't have like my own home and stuff like that, and like a means to like be independent, to be well off, you know. Maybe not even well off, you know, but just to be able to be independent, but in a good way, where even if I'm just barely getting by, where I can say like, hey, but I still have my own home, my own everything. For me, I feel like the best thing that I could do is maybe just get, let's say like if you were to rent a basic apartment and then just almost, I don't know, maybe live paycheck by paycheck, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. And again, maybe in this video, because I didn't rehearse it, I didn't do anything like that. It's it might come off as entitled. It might come off as, you know, whiny. And honestly, but probably whiny, complaining, all these other things. But realistically, the main message that I kind of wanted to get this across, as I was just thinking about it, and is I just started to get angry about just like the whole situation that I'm in and everything, and how, you know, I'm probably my own worst enemy, and I'm the one that makes it worse and everything, is that like, no, I've had enough of it, you know what I'm saying? I've had enough of it. Like, there's absolutely no way that I can continue to allow this to be, you know, my daily life, where, you know, those negative thoughts are there, that little voice is telling you, kind of like trying to to sabotage every good thing in your life, all the friendships, all the relationships, everything that you have, you know, because it always finds a way to turn something good or even indifferent, you know, something that literally maybe doesn't have any inherent meaning or anything like that, and it wants to turn it into something negative. I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it, and if anybody, you know, and for me, it's kind of like, if you watch this and you kind of feel the same way, and you're kind of struggling with different things and everything, and I know everybody's circumstances are different and whatnot, then you know what, I hope you're tired too, and I hope that even if it's in a way kind of with anger that you might try to push through it with, because I don't think it's necessarily the best way, obviously, I don't think so, but sometimes I think, you know what, if you can use it temporarily to just kind of get that little boost that can kind of set you on the right track, that's the thing, you have to be careful, like, you have to use it in the right way, right? It's, you know, use it and say like, why, if I exist, if I'm alive, why should I feel this way, you know? Why should I think these things? Why should I, you know, feel these things and everything? Like, why can't I be, you know, better off? Like, why can't I be, you know, why can't I just, you know, feel better? Now, I'm not saying, now be careful again, you know, I don't want you to fall into like that victim mentality or anything like that. Maybe for some people, you know, they've been victims of horrendous things, you know, but I think that the most important thing is to say that you're not a victim, and to take accountability for everything that's happened. And I know that's rough, and I know maybe that might not be the best thing for everybody, but at least the way that I've heard other people talk about it is, if you take accountability for everything in your life, for all of your shortcomings, for all of your virtues, for everything, then it basically gives you full control over your life, and it basically just helps you to be able to steer it in the right direction, you know. And I feel like that's the best way to go about it. And right now I feel like, you know what, I was lazy before. I feel like I could have worked more. I feel like maybe I could have studied something more specialized, you know, something better. I could have studied more. I could have done a litany of things, right? But at the end of the day, we're here in the present, right? And where you are is where you are. Don't matter what happened before. Doesn't even matter what's going to happen in the future per se, because, well, it hasn't even occurred, so, you know, you can't focus too much on that. But what matters is today. And if you're tired of it, if you're tired of having those emotions and these negative feelings and all that, like I'm starting to get tired of it now, and the best thing I can say is, you know, I hope you do something about it. I hope, even if you're using, like I said, that initial anger just to kind of like fuel yourself or whatever, but I hope you do something good for yourself. I hope you're able to kind of like, you know what, maybe sit down and really just start like jotting down, okay, why is it that I feel this way? Like really get down to the nitty gritty of why it is that all this came to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel that it can't go out this way for anybody, because I feel like it would just drive anybody insane. And there's so much out there, so many beautiful things, so many beautiful experiences and people and things to do and things to explore and everything. And again, I know other people have their circumstances and it's a lot different and everything, and that's something that you have to kind of like gauge on your own, you know what I'm saying? So it can be difficult. It'll probably be more difficult for some than for others and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you know, like I said, that's why I think it's important to take kind of responsibility for who you are, and look for help. You know, look for help too. I think that's also something that's been kind of bugging me or messing with me, that I also, you know, like, you know, maybe talking to a therapist is good and all. You know, I feel like maybe that's good advice. And just besides that, like I said, just I hope you're tired enough of feeling this way so that you can start to like genuinely make a change. You know, because I remember I saw this video from, I think he's a psychologist, I forgot his name, but he's on YouTube. I think it's Healthy Gamer or something like that. That's his YouTube channel, and he said something along the lines of like what you should do when you feel a certain way, negative. When you feel a negative, when you feel or you have these negative emotions, is that you shouldn't try to change your emotions. You shouldn't try to feel better, per se. It's on the contrary. You should try to do something. I mean, I guess it will lead to that, right? But it's like more like delay. It's like on the what you should do is try to do something that'll put you in the right direction. That'll, you know, push you forward a little bit, maybe make your tomorrow a little easier, you know, do something meaningful, do something healthy, you know, eat something nutritious, or it can be a whole, it can be a wide variety of things, but basically just do something that will set you on the right course to be where you want to be, or at least something that you know will genuinely be good for you, you know what I'm saying, rather than just trying to feel good. Because then what he says is that then what happens is that people, you know, they feel sad or anything, so then they choose to go drink, they choose to, you know, maybe you know, do drugs or play video games or anything like that. And for some things, I mean, it's not bad. Like, it's not bad to drink. It's not bad to do, you know, maybe some recreational drugs or to play video games or anything like that. Not at all. But I think what he was trying to get at is that if you keep postponing that process of like just trying to get to like a better spot, and instead what you do is, like I said, you postpone it, and instead you try to indulge in something that'll give you more immediate gratification versus delayed gratification, then that's the whole issue. Because then you'll feel better in the moment, but it'll come at a cost down the line, because you're like, man, I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this, but I didn't. I did this instead, right? Whereas if you decide, okay, like, man, I feel horrible, you know, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to do anything at all, you know, and I haven't eaten, or I haven't, you know, done this chore that I've had to do, or I haven't done this task or this project or anything like that that I know I have to do, or I haven't, you know, filed my taxes or anything like that, you know. And I don't want to do it, I'm just going to lay in bed and do this. And then it's like, no. I try to push against it. Like, I hope you're tired enough. I hope you're tired enough of feeling, you know, in such a way so that it'll push you, hopefully, like I said, even if it's at least temporary, where you kind of use that hatred of feeling that way just to kind of push against it and say, like, you know what, I've had enough. I've had enough. I hope that you can use that to do something good, so that hopefully you can get yourself on the right track. And it's going to be difficult, because right now, one thing that I'm realizing is that, you know what, all the problems that I have about not being where I want to be, let's say in terms of my career, or, you know, being able to have a home, or being able to be, let's say, financially independent and everything, like, those are things that I probably won't be able to figure out today or tomorrow or the next year or anything. Maybe not even within this week, this month, this year, you know, who knows. But what I can do is I can make the process easier. I can start it. I can start the process. And I guess in a way, once you start feeling a certain way, it's like the initiation of, hopefully, of growth, where it's like, okay, you know, I'm feeling this way, whatever, and I don't want to feel this way anymore, so what can I do to get myself out of this rut? And it's not easy, and remember, you're not an island. Look for help, get support, you know what I'm saying, and be careful with that voice, because like I said, that's that voice that I have, where every little thing, no matter how good it is, it'll seem good in the beginning, and then later it'll start to seep in, and then it'll say like, oh, you know, they didn't mean that, they don't actually care, it's just the front, you know, all these things. And it makes me angry, because like I said, if we exist, if we're living and everything, it's why the hell should we waste our energy feeling, you know, this way, and kind of like giving into these negative thoughts and all this, when I could try to lean more on the positive side, even if things are hard, you know. And again, this doesn't mean that if you're struggling with something and you can't get out of it, I'm not saying it's your fault or anything, but I know maybe your situation is just much more difficult. Maybe you need to be more resilient and look for more help or something, you know. It's different. But the one thing I can say is, you know, don't give up, don't give in to that negativity, don't let it dominate you, and try to break out of it. Like literally, if I could physically grab those emotions, right, and I could manifest them, I could manifest them physically. Like I swear, like I would not hold back in terms of being able to to like beat them. You know, I would not hold back at all. The thing is, fortunately, you can't do that. All right, fortunately, you can't do that. Unfortunately, getting rid of this mentality, these thoughts, and everything, it can't just be done by saying like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to feel this way anymore, and that's it. It's like nope. It's like a battle of attrition. It's a long battle, a worn out battle. Where it just takes day after day after day after day of trying to instill the good habits and instill the good thoughts and all these other things to really get there. To have to get up and do a lot of the things that you don't want to do, but that you need to do in order to get out of this hole that you're in. Because again, I hope that you're tired enough so that even if it's with that hatred or just that, desperation or whatever it may be, that you can at least push against it, because it's like I said, it's maddening. And I remember I posted the video the other day where I said, sometimes I'm so caught up in my issues that I forget about like how insignificant we are, right? It's like we're literally living in, we're living on planet Earth, floating rock in space, surrounded by, the cosmos and all these other things. Like truly, truly insane and beautiful things, you know what I'm saying? Just like how, like it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how it all came to be. Whether you're on the side of religion or whether you're on the side of science or anything like that, or you're with both, it's just, it's insane to me, And then let's say if you're religious and how they say that, you're made that we're all made in the image of God and everything, then I think that, what? If God is all knowing and if God is all righteous and everything, then I don't think He would want us to feel this way, But obviously that's the thing. That's the thing. Like they say, the devil is always there too. And, there's good, there's bad. There's light and there's dark and everything. So it could just be, depending on how you are in terms of religion and everything, it could just be a manifestation of that. Of something that isn't good, just trying to pull you down because I guess they don't want you to succeed, right? They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to be happy. At least that's the way that I perceive it when you're, like in a more religious setting. Or if you don't believe in that, then maybe you just think, oh, well, then it's just me and I just feel this way and that's that part of me. But regardless, like I said, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Where, like I said, there's so much out there. There's so many good things. And the thing, too, that frustrates me is that there's so many good, beautiful things already. I have people that I love, and I have people that love me, and I have, a lot of good friendships, I feel like I have a good relationship, with my parents, with my girl, with just so many things, that it's like, why am I going to let it be sabotaged by this little voice in my head, that just doesn't want to let me be, that just wants to kind of flip everything upside down for me. It's like, I don't think so. I can't allow it. And again, it's a battle of attrition. It's not an easy battle. It's difficult, and it's sometimes feeling that awkwardness, that sadness, or that just feeling all this roller coaster of emotions and everything like that. And sometimes it can be in like the most relaxed setting, and it's like you start feeling all these things and everything, but it's like you have to try to stand firm, and you kind of have to try to push through it. And maybe it might take for maybe you to move around a bit, or look somewhere else, or get out of the specific room that you're in, or try to change something, sometimes just with your physical environment alone, or your social environment or something, whether it be like in that immediate moment, or it be over like a course of time, whether it be short or long or anything. But sometimes it just takes a little change and everything to try and break out of it, so that you can hopefully push towards doing the good things. Because sometimes what I've noticed for me is that when those thoughts start seeping in, the good things, or at least the things that I feel like I should do, I try to use my judgment. I try to use my gut feeling, right? My intuition. And I feel that sometimes those good things that I can do become very difficult. There's a lot of resistance when I try to do it. Why? Because the voice that I have is telling me like, no, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like I said, like, oh, they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Or wow, like, look at what they did or something. And it's honestly, the vast majority of the time, it's just BS. It's just BS. And I refuse to be, I refuse to let something like that, take over and dictate the way that I want to live my life. And I don't know if I already mentioned that quote. I mentioned the what about defeat. I think I said, I know I saw one that said defeat love with hate. Or sorry, defeat, my apologies. Defeat hate with love. And I like the idea. Again, love in the sense that, you know what, even though you're feeling a certain way or anything, it's like you treat yourself with love, you know? You treat yourself with love, and at least that's the way that I perceive it. If maybe in other scenarios it might be a little different, but the way that I see it is that, you know what, sometimes, because I feel like this voice, like the voice that I have, or like that little thing that just keeps bugging at me, in a way it's hatred towards me. Maybe it's hate towards me, maybe hatred towards me because I'm not the person I want to be. You know, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not who I want to be, and it's almost like a yeah, like this is what you deserve, type of thing, right? And but again, I refuse to let that win, and I feel like you should all do the same. You should not allow it to win. And there's also another quote, which I think I already mentioned it at the video. I just can't remember, about like what Jim Carrey said about that when you're depressed, it's just because your body is tired of playing that character, which I like because it's like yeah, sometimes it's because we know that we're capable of more. We know that we have different goals and ambitions and things that we want to achieve. And then when we stop ourselves because we're either procrastinating or being lazy, I feel like something that's affected me a lot is being lazy. When you realize, those things and everything, it gets sad, it's surprised, you might get regretful, you might get resentful towards yourself or maybe towards other people if you feel like maybe in a way they kind of didn't help you or they sabotaged you or whatever it may be. And it, may be the case, it may not be, you never know. But it's, you just get those thoughts and everything, and it's not good. So then so that's what I'm saying, that when you start getting those thoughts, sometimes I'm not saying don't try to get rid of them necessarily. If anything, maybe try like journaling. And I'm not saying like you have to journal long term, because I'm pretty sure there's like a proper way to do it. But what I'm saying is, like, if not even journaling, at least having that talk with yourself where you say, hey, like, why do I feel this way? What exactly is the feeling that I have right now? Why do I feel it? Why is it, influenced by this person? What do I think about this person? What do I think about the situation? Why is it? Just start asking all the important questions, maybe the difficult questions of why. Why this? Why that? Why is this the way that it is? Because half of the time I can almost guarantee you that there is no basis for that emotion that you're feeling. There probably isn't a solid basis for it, besides maybe what? Maybe paranoia, maybe fear, maybe doubt, regret, insecurities, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But ask yourself those hard questions. Get to the bottom of it and figure it out, so that you don't allow yourself to be, controlled by those thoughts or anything, because it's not worth it. There's so much more. There's so much more in life, and even though right now, let's say, like, I'll end this video and I'll probably go back to the same style of life that I've had, despite, let's say, implementing maybe small changes and everything, and I'll probably feel this way still for a long time and everything. It's like, okay, it might be like that for you as well. You might try to do something today and you'll keep feeling the same way for a while. But the thing is that if you're consistent, if you persevere, and you kind of build that discipline or that habit of doing those good things or those things that could make you proud, but proud for yourself, not necessarily proud for others. I mean, in a way, I guess it's not bad per se, as long as the things that that would make those people proud are good things. But honestly, I would say just try to do the things that make you proud. Like, think about it. Like, if I were to do this, would I feel better? And if so, why? Would it make me proud? Okay, if so, why? Or if not, okay, why? And then maybe there are some things that probably for you aren't worth doing. And I'm sure that in the same way, you'll find things that are probably worth doing that'll probably help you with, let's say, if you have low self-esteem or anything like that, or if you just feel like you're not where you want to be in life, And don't look at everything like it's, like, do one and that's it, one and done or anything. It's like, no, a lot of these things are probably going to take time. A lot of these things are probably going to take time, and it's going to be those little efforts on a daily basis that will compound. And over time, like I said, delayed gratification that'll get you to where you want to be. So even though today there might not be a way for you to solve your problem 100%, for you to stop feeling this way and everything, you should at least try to find grace in the fact that if you're able to make a tiny change, at least a tiny change, you ask for help, or you start doing one thing, or you stop doing another, or anything, then you can at least have the grace of knowing that, hey, you know what? And then, like, I've started the process to feel better, because now today was, Maybe you thought about this day 3 years ago, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, a week ago, whatever, and now you got to this point, you know? Unfortunately, maybe we didn't implement those habits or anything during those days that it took to get here, but we still got here. And whatever age you may be, like if you're 15, you're going to 20, if you're 20, going to 25, if you're 25, going to 30, 30 to go to 35, 40, 67, whatever it may be. And then you're thinking, a year ahead, 2, 3, a year, a day ahead, whatever it may be. Chances are, hopefully, right, you'll get there. You'll get there. But again, make sure that you implement those habits, even if it won't necessarily make you feel better in that immediate moment, at least, especially in the beginning. Maybe eventually you start seeing some results and it'll, help you feel better a little bit. Like, it's not going to be like a switch, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be gradual. But at least you'll know. And give yourself grace, man. Give yourself grace for the things that you've done. And I'm giving the advice, and I just can't figure that out, about just kind of like being proud of yourself and being proud of what you've done. It's so damn difficult, man. It's so damn difficult because I feel like I focus too much on what other people think of me, but then at the same time I try to think, no, only my opinion should matter. But then my opinion is probably the harshest. My opinion of me is probably the harshest one that I've ever had, where I find it very difficult to be proud of anything, proud of anything that I've done, simply because I guess I don't have a home, I'm not independent or anything. So that for me is already like, it doesn't matter what you've done. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve to feel good. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve that. And it's not good, man. And again, be careful too. Like when you start going through these things and everything. Like I know sometimes you want to ask people for help, and you can, but be careful. There's a difference between like venting, genuinely looking for advice, and complaining. And I feel like I've gone from like venting, asking for advice or anything, to complaining, because you can overwhelm people. And don't get me wrong, I feel like the people that want to be with you will be with you. They'll stick through thick and thin with you. But regardless, you don't want to overwhelm them. Try not to. And like don't put too much of a burden on them. At the end of the day, like I said, it's up to you, because they can be there. They can choose to be there as much as they want for you. But if you're not putting in the conscious effort to get better and to at least try, it's all pointless. You can't help somebody that doesn't want to be home. So just make sure that you have that mentality of like, I want to get better. I'm tired of feeling this way. Like I said, just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be this way. And in the meantime, it's okay. But it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to end this way. So with that being said, keep it going. Just try. I just hope you're tired. I hope you're tired of feeling the way that you're feeling, and I hope that you try to just find something better. And don't take away the importance of the little steps, because sometimes I'm doing like little tasks, like for example, like I need a helmet for equestrian classes, or I need to buy these like vitamins. I need to buy this, or file some like withdrawal for like a Roth account or something, because I switched from one job to another, so now I need to change from that retirement plan or whatever to the other, so I need to move the funds from one account to the other, like stuff like that, right? And it's like sometimes I'm doing those things and I'm like, this isn't gonna get me ahead in anything. And it's like, you know what, you can't feel that way either, because if you can't give importance to the little decisions, or if you can't, if you don't do them because you know that you have to do them, or because you know that they're important or anything, what makes you think that you're going to do the big decisions, or that you're going to make the big decisions? I don't know if I'm wording it correctly, but it's basically, I'm doing these things and I'm kind of like, oh, it's pointless. Like, you didn't get ahead, you didn't do anything, I'm still in the same spot where I am. And it's like, okay, maybe in a way, sure, you are, but it's like you still took care of things that you have to do. Sometimes all you have to do is just the baseline stuff, the stuff to stay stable. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do in the sense of like, kind of like getting a restart, like where we can have like a little break, and then have all this like time to kind of like recover and think things through, and really like kind of have like a new beginning, right? And then say, okay, I'm gonna go back in. I'm good. I mean, you can try, take like little vacations, stuff like that. I do feel like we need mental breaks. I'm just saying that it's not very. The likelihood of being able to do that isn't the best per se, and sometimes it's just kind of impossible depending on the lifestyle that you have. If you have a lot of responsibilities, if you have a lot of people counting on you and stuff, so just be mindful of that. Don't take away importance from those decisions because they're still good decisions and they're still necessary and everything. So don't neglect that and do what you can. I hope you do what you can. I hope you're tired of it. But I hope that you don't give up because again, right now it's just I think that way and it makes me so angry because I see people that treat me with such kindness and everything that genuinely want me to be there, and when I start feeling these things and everything, and I see that it affects my interactions with them, it's really disappointing, and I don't like that, and I don't want that for anybody. I genuinely don't want that for anybody. So if you can, do yourself a favor, do them a favor, but more importantly, do yourself a favor. Get the help that you need. Put in the work. Do what you have to do. Give yourself more peace of mind, more grace. Surround yourself with different people. Whatever it is that you have to do, sit down and ask yourself those difficult questions. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, where am I lacking? Why do I feel this way? What can I do so that hopefully I can get out of this. I can get out of this spiral of emotions. I hope you're able to do that because, like I said, it doesn't have to be this way. There's so much more out there, and it doesn't have to be this way. With that being said, I think that's really all I have to say, and I wish to anybody, the best of luck, and I hope that it gets better. I know it'll get better. We have to work on it. Don't wait too much. If you can, start today. The tiniest thing. Maybe that thing you haven't cleaned up, that bed you haven't made, that sweater you haven't patched up, whatever it may be, whatever insignificant thing it may be, just try it. Just give it a shot. Like I said, it doesn't have to be this way. You got this.